Thanks for tuning into my channel. Today we are going to do a walk around and a startup of this 1984 Volkswagen Vanagon Wolfsburg edition. We are out here close to the road, so I apologize. There'll be some road noise as cars go by. This Vanagon belonged to a friend of mine who recently passed away. He had parked it several years ago for a minor reason. He'd been driving through town, and I think he was stopped at a crosswalk, and as some folks were crossing the road, the horn, without him pressing on the button, the horn started going off, and it was kind of an embarrassing experience for him. The horn kept going off randomly, so he drove it home, parked it, started playing with the electrical to fix that, but never got around to it, and there the car sat. A good runner when it was parked, but that was years ago. Faded paint, but I think it would buff out and shine up. A little bit of body damage here on the right rear quarter panel where you can see, it wasn't rusted out, it doesn't look like, but it looked like it had been damaged before, repaired with some Bondo, and then that's gotten hit, scraped at some point and broken that Bondo loose. Friend honking as he drove by. Missing a couple odds and ends like the little bumper caps. They actually might be in here somewhere, I'm not sure. The sliding door does open, but as you can see from the wobbly handle, there is something going on inside. It's hard to get open. When I had it open before, I had to do it from the inside and get my hands inside the door. In fact, there is one of the bumper caps and window crank. Interior not in the best of shape. I don't know if that's a result of, I know he had dogs that he hauled around in the car. It doesn't smell like dogs, that was a long time ago, but some of that damage could be from that. And cracks in the dashboard. Up on the dash you see the horn button. Like I say, he had that off to try and fix the horn problem. Some staining on the headliner that might clean up with some vinegar solution. Looks like mold or something like that, but it doesn't smell bad in here. It doesn't smell like a car that's full of mold. You can see the back seat back there. The foam's in pretty rough shape. There is a middle seat for the van that I have. Currently, I had taken it out to do some work on it, to do some work in the van. Over there sitting on the back seat are the window covers that snap up. So if you're going camping, you have privacy. Windshield's cracked all the way across. Don't know if you can tell from the video, but when it was parked, the tires were close to brand new. I remember my friend saying that he had to, because this is more of a truck, so to speak, he had to make sure to find light truck rated tires, which I think is a little tricky in the 14-inch size. I think these are 14s. Where it says radial light truck. Yep, 185 R14, load range C. On the driver's side, there's the temporary window crank. More damage to the upholstery. You can see that door panel on the slider door. It was pulled back that way. You can see it's damaged. That's how it was when I got it. But again, that door opens, but it takes some finagling from the inside to do that. Here's the middle seat that I've got stored out on my covered porch. It's a little scuzzy from sitting out here, but it is basically intact. It would probably clean up and look decent. Back side of it, I don't see any obvious tears. Maybe one little poke through the upholstery right there. The rear hatch lift supports are a little bit weak, so got the vice grips on there holding it open. Again, upholstery not great. I'm no Volkswagen expert, but according to the internet, that's provided this engine hasn't been changed out, and I don't think that it has, but this should be a 1.9 liter water-cooled engine with fuel injection. Got a little bit of rodent activity on here, pile of maple seeds, maybe a squirrel getting up in here or something. So when this was parked, like I say, it was running fine when it parked, is my understanding. It was just parked for that electrical horn issue. However, that was a number of years ago. When I put a battery in this previously, several months ago, I could get it to fire if I squirted fuel or gas in the air intake, but it wouldn't. It would just run for, a second or two. I couldn't get it to stay running. So that is as far as I got with the diagnosis. This isn't the usual vehicle that I'm working on, but I wonder if now there's a issue with the fuel pump or plugged fuel filter or something like that. Let's go check out the mileage on the odometer. It says 160,867 miles. I had to go inside the car to get the door open. So it does open. It wasn't really a problem, but it's kind of a hassle. Something does need to be fixed there. The door panel at this point should probably just come off. It's so warped and hanging out into the cab of the vehicle that you got to push it back in place to be able to open the door. Take another shot of the interior from here. And besides being torn up, I mean, you can see that there's mold in here. It's not one of those rigs that you open up and you get a allergy headache from opening the door. It's actually doesn't smell bad for a car that's been sitting for years, but it could certainly use a good cleaning. There's the battery box underneath the passenger seat. It's got a bed liner type floor mat. Carpet underneath doesn't look terrible. Another friend driving by and honking. I forgot to point it out earlier, this car is equipped with a 4-speed standard transmission. So now we're going to throw a battery in it and see if I can get it to fire up like I had in the past, if only for a few seconds. The battery doesn't quite fit. It fits the hole, but the negative cable, the ground cable, is too short, so I have to have the battery up on this angle. This battery, I had to pull this one out of my 65 Cutlass temporarily so I could get the job done. Then the battery will go back in the Cutlass so I can continue to drive that. As I mentioned earlier, when I started this up several months back, I apparently couldn't get fuel delivered to the system. I was only able to get it to fire if I squirted starting fluid or gas into the air intake. And so what I'm going to do today, or what I've already prepped it, I pulled this hose off of the air cleaner box and put this length of fuel line or heater hose, whatever it is, on there so I can hold it out here and squirt a little. I'm going to use starting fluid for better or for worse, so I can squirt a little starting fluid in there while I have someone turn the ignition key. All right, we are all set now. I got someone in the driver's seat to try to start the car. Got my starting fluid, and we'll give it a go here. Okay, hit it. Okay, cut. Let's see here. We'll try this again with the hose up a little higher. Okay, hit it. And it fired up. We're going to see if we'll do that again. Okay, hit it. See if I can double hand it here with the camera and the starting fluid and the throttle. Okay, try it again. Okay, it looks like that's about all we're going to get, but it does fire. As you saw, it seems like it's only firing long enough for that starting fluid to get used up. It's not drawing fuel from the tank. Don't know if it's something serious like a fuel pump or what, or a bad fuel line plug fill filter. Heck, it could be out of gas. I can't remember if I checked that, but anyway, that's as far as we're going to go with that. So that concludes this episode. Thanks for watching.